This is Greg Strange, and welcome to Goodwood, where I'm talking to Frenchman Nicholas Minassian. He's 35, he was born in Marseille, the name is Armenian, but in fact he lives just 10 minutes up the road from us here at Goodwood Circuit. His sport is endurance racing. He's campaigning the V12 Peugeot Sport 908 HDI diesel racer, and this year partnering Marc Genet. They'll be joined by Jacques Villeneuve, the former Formula One champion, for the Le Mans 24-hour race itself in June. Now, they won the opening race in the 2008 Le Mans series in Catalonia, and they have high hopes to win the big one, Le Mans itself, this year. Now, Nicholas, what's the attraction of this type of racing?
This type of racing is more like about sharing everything. We race and we need to share everything with your teammate. The team need to work all together, and that's the most important thing. When you drive in single seater, you have to be very selfish. There you share everything, and it's a very good way of racing because you enjoy it more. I do enjoy it more, the racing like this, and it's great on the 24-hour race like this, just to be able to be all together as a team and to go for a big challenge like this.
The big challenge is, of course, the Le Mans 24-hour race. This is a car in development. You've been pretty frank about it in the media. You had a pretty torrid time of it at the 12-hour race in Sebring.
Sebring was more of like a development kind of race. We went down there with still, in your mind you want to win the race, but we knew we had a lot of new components in the car, like a new hydraulic, a new system with a bearing, with all these kind of things we need to try for a long race. And Sebring was a very tough racetrack. So we put everything into the race, and we had a few problems, but we were very competitive, and the problem we had, we know exactly where they are. So it's a very good thing for the race at Le Mans.
Now, of course, I'm right in thinking it's Le Mans that's most important to you and to the Peugeot team.
Le Mans is what drives you on for a constructor to come into that kind of racing, because it's such a big race. It's very televised, lots of television, lots of media, and it's the biggest challenge of all. You race for 24 hours in a track which is like about 70% of the time you're on full throttle. So you need to be really, really good with the engine, and you have to be very good with the reliability of the car. So the challenge is immense.
And if you are lucky and you do win, what does it mean for Peugeot? Because you'll have done one race, which is the equivalent of almost the entire Formula One season rolled into one weekend.
Peugeot has won Le Mans before, so they've won it in 1992, in 1993. So they know how to win those kind of race. But for a constructor like Peugeot, you win Le Mans. It's not like you've just won a race. You're part of a legend, and that's what it's all about. Be part of a legend. You'll be in the book, winning with a diesel car for the rest of the world.
And presumably, it doesn't do any harm in the showroom either, because Peugeot sells a lot of diesels.
Peugeot are one of the biggest company in the world for selling diesel. They're probably one of the best, and they're proving that at the moment, actually, because we're winning race. We're very, very competitive, and we're going really well in the right direction. I'm really confident about Le Mans this year.
Now, a few years ago, no one would have thought of diesel-powered racers. But when you think about it, there's a logic to racing and winning with this type of engine in endurance racing. Longevity, reliability, economy?
On the drivability, the car is a bit harder to drive because there's a lot of torque. So the torque makes it a little bit harder. But for a constructor like Peugeot, is a very good challenge because they can work on traction control and try to make that system work really well with the car. And as well for fuel consumption is a little bit better, and for environment is better as well, because we've got a new filter which is FAP, which is a filter particle like they call it in France, and there is no smoke coming out of the car, and as well is technology-wise is very, very good.
Now, do you have to adopt a different technique when you're racing a diesel-powered car?
There is much less noise in the car, so you don't hear the engine very much, and you don't rev the car as much. It's about 5,000 rev you pull in on the engine. So there is a little different technique, but you quickly adapt with it.
Is it particularly powerful low down? You think of that with diesels on the road cars, and you yourself drive a diesel-powered V6 407 Peugeot.
That's right, yeah, it's a lovely car. I'm loving it. The biggest things with the diesel car is we've got a very heavy engine on the back. So compared to the petrol car, it's a different technology. As well with the torque, you damage the tire very much. So Michelin have done lots of work with us to develop the tires, and now we've got a car with really gentle with the tires, and an engine who works really well with the chassis as well.
How do you prepare for a race like Le Mans, personally? How do you prepare physically and mentally?
Physically, you try to be as fit as possible. More like it's not about being big muscle and being heavy weightlifting. You know, it's about endurance. So most of it is aerobic. I do lots of running, lots of little weight, but for a long period of time, repetition. And after, you know, you have to. Le Mans is a very long week, so you need to save your energy for the weekend of the race, because otherwise you drain your energy out. And after, you just do at the moment what happened, because sometimes you don't sleep at all, and sometimes it happens another time you come out of the car, you have a little nap of about an hour. So that's the best things to do. But sometimes you can sleep, so you got to deal with it, you know. And I think your body knows that this is you train your head to know that even if you don't sleep, you'll be all right in the car.
It's a marathon, isn't it?
It is a big marathon, and you feel it straight after the race, or knackered you are, because you just go home and you just sleep for a week.
Well, the car's a beautiful looking car. How do you rate your chances this year? I mean, you're there for one purpose, and that's to win, you or your teammates.
I want to win, you know. I'll be happy if any car wins, as long as it's a Peugeot. Personally, I want to win the race because that's what I want to do. I want to be as a racing driver. I want to win Le Mans. For me, it's the biggest race there is in the world. And I think we've got a good chance, because last year was a development year. We had a lot of problems, but the car is very, very fast. And lately we've done lots of endurance testing, we've done lots of development for the reliability of the car. And I think we're heading in the right direction. I think we're going to give everybody a run for their money. And Peugeot has had a car, so we got 3 cars this year. And that means another chance to win it.